Welcome to the May 11th, Thursday Finance Committee meeting. This is Councilman Britt Moore. I'm here with our other Finance Committee committee members, Monica Peters, Michael Holmes, and Victor Jones. We will jump right in. I'm calling this meeting to order, and we will jump right in with presentations of the items. The first item is 2023-211, and I was going to call Robbie Stone to the lectern, but he's already there.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you all. So this is for our amendment number 2 with GEL Engineering. We've already entered into agreement with GEL back in July of 2022 to do our air permit monitoring down at Eastside Wastewater Treatment Plant. Since then, we've received an alternate monitoring plan from the EPA, so we now have to monitor on a quarterly basis, and this is going back and adding on to GEL's duties to do this on a quarterly basis. Funds are available in the current project. We're recommending that this be approved to GEL Engineering of North Carolina for $15,700, and this is for only one of those quarterly events. The other 3 will roll into next fiscal year.
Any comments or questions on this item?
Motion approved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Next item, 2023-212. Robbie.
This is our Whites Mill Pump Station, the American Rescue Plan Act grant funding. This is a pump station project that's under design. It's right now about the 90% design phase, and we applied for this grant. We actually applied for about $450,000. We were awarded $400,000, and this is bringing this action from the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality to receive $400,000 for this project in a form of a grant. Approved is it. We also have the attached resolution for $400,000 for this grant offer.
Comments or questions? This is one-time funding, right?
Yes.
Comments, questions? If there are none, I'll make a motion to approve item 2023-212.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Item 2023-213. Mr. Stone.
All right, so this is to purchase a fine bar screen and washer compactor for placement at our Eastside Wastewater Treatment Plant. There's currently 3 bar screens at this plant, and this is bar screen number 2, which is out of service. It's no longer functional. We do have some attached pictures of that. This bar screen number 2 is about 20 years old. We bid this out. The lowest bidder was JC Environmental in the amount of $213,935 for the fine screen and fine screen unit and washer compactor, and an alternate bid of $39,880 for the dual shafted grinder. There are funds in our current budget for this, and we're requesting that JWC Environmental be awarded this material project in $253,815.
Comments or questions for Robbie?
Motion approved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 2023-222. We're moving on with Police Chief Travis Stroud to talk to us about K9 Jinx.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Police Department, we're asking for consideration to approve the retirement of one of our canines, declare it surplus. And then once the canine is retired, we're going to sell the dog to his retired canine handler. His canine handler just retired 2 weeks ago. In the meantime, we know when this was coming, we've already purchased a new dog and we have a new handler in place. So we're asking the city to declare it surplus and then sell the dog to Officer Garrison.
When the new dog comes in, is there, when you say you've got them matched up?
Yes, sir.
Is there further, they already been training in preparation?
They're on
for
the
this?
street now.
They're on the street now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any comments further? I'll make a motion to approve item 2023-222.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Next item, 2023-223. Police Chief Stroud.
Okay, this will be a familiar topic. This is for our, trying to get our NIBIN system up and running. We've presented with this before. This is for the purchase of the brass track system, which is a portion of the equipment needed to get us in line with NIBIN. We're going to use our 2019 JAG funding, which was finally released to do this, to $120,030 that came with it. We also had to add in there another $5,017 for some training 2 people to actually run and use the system. The $5,017 we've identified through existing funds we have in our budget right now, so there's no additional request for anything that we have going on. But we did need to add that in to make it a straight up request, because it was just before, we were just using the grant funding to do all of it, or the JAG funding to do all of it. We are going to move, as we move forward into the next budget year, there's going to be some reoccurring annual fees with the brass track system. We'll try and work those into our actual budget.
Comments, questions?
That training that they do, you say they train 2 people in the department?
Yes, sir.
Once that's done once, are they able to train other people, or do they have to come in every time to do some type of certified training?
You'll probably have to, the way this is going to be so technical that I don't think it's going to be that much of a train the trainer. Right now, we're trying to hire, we got it in our new budget, which was approved, we have a firearms tool mark examiner. That'll be their primary position, but we don't want to have a single point of failure just in case something happens with that person, so we're trying to train a second person. So hopefully, once we get our new person in place, this will be their responsibility to actually run the brass track system and really coincide with NIBIN once it's all up and running. So, but I don't think it's so technical. I don't think it'll be as simple as train the trainer. It's going to be pretty in-depth.
So anybody that comes along after these 2 people to take over that role for our police department would have to be trained by them?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I would be safer with that answer than saying no.
Sure, okay.
Anything else? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 2023-223.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you,
guys.
Chief.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you. Item 2023-224. This is a contract concerning transmission pole foundation. Tyler Barrier. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
The item I've got today is for some work outside of a substation on Jackson Lake Road that we are rehabbing. As part of the project, we'll have 6 large transmission poles that are to be relocated, and these have large foundations that have to be constructed. We did bid out this work, and the service came back with 4 bids. The lowest meeting our specifications was Long Foundation Drilling Company. So we were asking for approval for $322,276 for this service.
Comments, questions? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 2023-224.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, Tyler. Next item, 2023-225, is a budget ordinance agreement with Southwest Guilford County Fire Hydrant subject matter. So here comes Chief Tommy Reed of the Fire Department.
So this ought to be pretty straightforward and easy to do. It still has to go out for bid, but what we have, Guilford County has funded $200,000 out of ARPA money to place hydrants in the portion down 62 Groomtown Road. Most of it is in our future annexation areas and annexation agreements, so we're in the process of trying to be neighborly and help them out, and obviously it'll benefit the city in the future as well. So it's just an agreement where the money comes in and goes back out, right? There you go. We're passed through, basically,
Gotcha.
and we'll own it. So,
Comments, questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thanks, Chief.
thank you, sir.
Next item is 2023-226. This is our outside nonprofit organization consideration of funding, and Stephen Harlick our budget manager is here to talk about that.
Yes, sir, thank you. Annually, Budget Evaluation receives applications from nonprofit organizations for annual funding. We compile that information and then pass it along to the Finance Committee for their review and ultimate recommendation to the full council. For the upcoming FY 23-24 fiscal year, we received 29 agency applications totaling slightly over $1.99 million. Traditionally, council has allocated about 1/3 of a penny of the tax rate to be distributed to the agencies. That amount for FY 23-24 is slightly over $446,000.
Okay. Make sure I say this right. We have met, the finance did meet earlier today, and we have come to consensus on these requests, and we have them ready to present to staff. So I want to make a motion that these items that total $438,000 be sent to the full council for consideration of approval, and staff to organize and prepare. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. The next item, 2023-227, information regarding a resolution by our Economic Development Director, Ms. Sandy Dunbeck.
Yes, I believe this was the cells.
Yes, this
Is that
is
the first one? We
the
have two.
Sales USA project and the North Carolina Building Reuse Grant.
Yes, we are asking council to consider a request to approve a local match for a state of North Carolina building reuse grant for sales. The local match amount would not exceed $5,000. And we are asking for that public hearing on Monday night, and company officials will be here. The company has purchased 2 buildings in South High Point, and they're investing $921,000 relocating some jobs from Winston-Salem and creating 13 new jobs. So ultimately, we're asking for council to authorize an amount not to exceed $5,000, and also to approve a resolution of support for the state's building reuse grant. Both of these are requirements for the state's building reuse, which is about $100,000 that they are being considered for.
Madam Attorney, make sure I've got this one right. Is this, it says a public hearing will be conducted on May 15th. So do we just acknowledge this, or is there part of this that we need to approve at this point?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll recognize that at this time, and we'll see it balance on Monday.
Okay.
All right.
And we had a second one as well.
The next item is 2023-228, and Ms. Dunbeck's going to talk to us about some performance-based incentives.
Yes, thank you. This is also a public hearing request. It's for a company called Dive Bar for performance-based incentives for a retail commercial project in the downtown area, the targeted downtown, 312 North Elm Street. This is for an amount of $124,798 over a 4-year period based upon the targeted downtown rent assistance policy. They are creating new jobs. It would be 19 new positions in downtown High Point, investing about $650,000. They're leasing or proposed to lease about 4,794 square feet for 7 years, 2 options to renew. And so we would ask that you consider that at public hearing on Monday, and company officials will be here for that project as well.
Thank you, Sandy. Is there any comments or questions on these items?
I do have a comment.
Sure.
And thank you so much. I'm so excited. It sounds like a great fit for our Truist Point area. I also wanted to see if maybe, I know we've brought this up before at some other meetings, about there's not really any incentives that we have going into some of these historic buildings down around West Green and stuff. And I know that there's a lot of movement. There was just an article a few days ago in Triad Business Journal about Red Vaughn and his Eastern accents. And there's a lot going on in there. And I didn't know if staff has had a chance to look at, or if we could, if there's any appetite, to maybe see what other cities that have industrial historic corridors and what kind of incentives they may be able to offer them so that they are able to like grow, and that's our Catalyst 2.0 area, and make sure that we're allowing them some type of city incentives too to help prosper that area.
Yeah,
Is that-
absolutely. We're glad to continue to explore. I will say that we do share information about incentives with many of those folks. And I know one of the large ones that just had an article in the Business Journal really did not want to apply. So, you know, we've discussed it several times, and he did not want to go to a public process. And, you know, that certainly is his preference. There would be others, though, and certainly any projects we're willing to look at. The rent assistance would not be available down there, but the traditional, based on capital investment and job creation, all of those types of things, the project, or building reuse. You know, some of those buildings might be eligible for the state's building reuse. You can already own the space and potentially be eligible there. And then we have our own building upfit as well, so.
Okay, so we already have that in place?
We do have programs in place that could help them,
Okay.
should they choose
To
to.
satisfaction of, okay. I didn't realize that we did.
Well, and I mean, we can also look and just make sure that there's no other options or, you know, anything, just to make sure that, you know, whatever is permissible under the law and available, we're happy to, you know, give a report on that as well, in addition to everything that Sandy has, whatever the appetite of.
Yeah, even if we don't have the funds, we can be the facilitator to get them in touch with those funds.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you.
All right, thank you. See
Thank
you
you,
Monday.
Monica. Anybody else have any comments to come before finance? Oh, come on, somebody. All right, hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes. Thank you, everybody.